I wrote this up as the Livingstone Formulation a long time ago, that when a Jewish person raises the issue of anti-Semitism, the standard response is to say, well, you're just raising that in bad faith. You know that there's not really any anti-Semitism, and you're doing that in order to try to silence or delegitimize criticism of Israel.
Livingstone meaning Ken.
Ken Livingstone. So Ken Livingstone made the claim very clearly, but it wasn't the first time I'd seen it, and it wasn't the last, and he wasn't the worst. I just named it after him because the penny dropped when I was watching his response actually to the Feingold affair. I don't know if you remember that.
Tell us who the Feingold guy was.
So it was a stupid, when Livingstone was the mayor of London, and Feingold, in fact, the journalist...
he was a Jewish reporter from the Evening Standard.
That's right.
And he likened Oliver Feingold to being a concentration camp guard.
So what happened was Livingstone comes out of the party, and his people have promised a quote to the journalist. And Livingstone, I assume, was a bit drunk, but he's always denied it. He comes out, and the journalist says, "Can I have a quote?" And Livingstone says, "Oh, no way, no, piss off," whatever he says. I don't know what he said. And he said, "Come on, give me a quote. Just how was the party for Christmas?" And Livingstone says, "No." And he says, "Come on, look, I'm just doing my job. I'm a journalist. Give me a quote. We can go home." And he says, "Yeah, that's what German concentration camp guards said. I'm just doing my job."
Wow.
And Feingold said, "Yeah, come on. I'm Jewish. I don't particularly like being compared to a German concentration camp guard. Just give me a quote and we can all go home." And then Livingstone rants about the fact that the owners of the Evening Standard was the Rothermere Group, and the Daily Mail had supported fascism in the 1930s, and blah, 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 blah. So that was the conversation. And then, Livingstone goes home, presumably sleeps very well, wakes up in the morning, and you'd think he would go, "Oh no, what did I say?" And you'd think he'd say, "Well, I'll send the guy a bunch of flowers and apologize." But he didn't. What he said was, and of course, Feingold had it all on tape. So it became, people were talking about it, and people were saying that Livingstone's response had been anti-Semitic. I mean, it probably was, but it was trivial, right? It was just... And then Livingstone hits back, and he says, "The reason I get called anti-Semitic is because I'm a critic of the Israeli government. And I get called anti-Semitic in order to silence my criticism." And that is the standard response to anyone who raises the issue of anti-Semitism.